I'm Lin.
And I'm Leo. Welcome back to Yoga with Lin and Leo.
Yes, and we're continuing to practice some of the preparations and some of the poses to help you with your back bends.
Yes, so today we're doing what are known as baby back bends. They are quite tough, it has to be said.
Yes, they are challenging. So work with us and we will go through some of the basic instructions in these poses. So be on your mat. So our first pose is, it doesn't seem much of a back bend to be fair. It's called Chaturanga Dandasana. So some of you will be familiar with this pose. Now, what's really important here is to reach those legs very strongly out to the sides. And then you have to see that you lengthen those legs so much and open the backs of the knees. So one of the biggest problems with this pose is this area here, because this lower back region becomes quite loaded, because it's quite a heavy region. So you have to see that you fill out your lumbar spine from the front body and lengthen. So you've got to get this lift from the upper and the lower abdominal area. Look forward and then take a breath in, keep that connected, and then extend off the floor. Hold it and then release it. Okay, so we'll have another go. Now, this pose is really important for strength, but also the arms, because the arms really help you in your back bending, particularly when you get onto some of those more demanding back bends. But be sure that when you're in this position, it's almost like zipping up a coat through the center of the body. So you have to see that everything is connecting towards the spine side. Otherwise, we tend to find liftoff is really challenging. So yeah, so all of this area needs to lift, this needs to lengthen, and then take a breath in and come up and hold. Keep that action lifting the upper abdominal area, keeping the elbows pointed, and then releasing down. And just rest your arms in front of you and the forehead onto the wrists. So our next pose we're coming to is Bhujangasana. So this is a really lovely action. This is when the legs are together and you take your hands beside your chest. And then we have to see that everything is extended so much, rolling your shoulders back and down, looking forward, taking a breath in, soft inhale, exhale, and only the front body comes up. So push into your hands and lift the front body up nicely and pause. And then you have to see that you get more length through the center of the body, but more grounding and lengthening in your lower back. And then extend and see if you can extend the arms completely. Maybe that the arms are not extending completely to start with and that you remain with the arms bent. But you have to see that there is a fluidness through the front body. And it's almost like you have to touch the frontal abdominal skin or the soft tissue fiber to come up. This is a very important action, yeah. And then slowly release it. So this is quite a difficult pose, and quite often we find in the classes that people struggle with their lower back. So you can practice with different props and different methods. We've got a few videos with this pose which will show you different ways of working. Alright, and just rest now your hands in front of you and your forehead onto your wrists. So the next pose we come to is Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. So again, taking the hands beside you. Now for this pose, tuck the toes under. This will be our first go. So remember in the previous action, Bhujangasana, that we lifted the backs of the thighs up very strongly. So this still needs to happen. And you have to see that you lift through the front body with this action, but difference being is that the thighs come off the floor. whereas in Bhujangasana, the frontal thigh stays down. So take a breath in, push very strongly into the hands and see if you can come up into this action. And again, be mindful of the arm work because you need to create this complete opening through the center of the torso, through the front body. And releasing down. Then flatten your feet and see if you can come into the classic pose. So again, press into your palms, look forward, press into the tops of the feet and then come all the way up. But remember Bhujangasana, that opening in the chest, that's got to happen. Now see if you can feed your body towards your arms. So you might bring your mat with you at this point, but don't worry about that. And keep that lift through the center. Remember that zipping you from the base of the abdomen all the way up. You follow that zip and lift up through the sternum chest and then releasing down. Okay, and rest your head. I'm just going to stretch out the mat. That's it.
Thank you.
So just resting your head onto your forearms again. So the next pose we come to is Salabhasana. So Salabhasana is a really nice strengthening action, good strengthening action for your lower back. So take your arms beside you, take the arms beside you, look forward, reach into your toes, reach through the legs, and then at the same time I'm going to lift the chest and the legs at the same time. And be sure that when you bring those arms up, that you're extending evenly. So take a breath in, extend the legs and the chest off the floor, extend those arms, look forward, breathe and release. Okay, so we'll have another go at that, so you get the idea. The most important thing is that you reach those legs away from you, so you give yourself some space in the abdomen, in the lower pelvic region, and also the lower back. And again, take a breath in and lift up. Now, reach those arms back very strongly, reach into your fingertips very firmly. And let your arms get the opening for your chest, and your legs get the opening for your lower back region, and then releasing. And rest your head onto your forearms. Okay, so we've gone through a few of the baby back bends. Hopefully that's quite helpful and you bring that into your practice. We are finishing here and we will join you again tomorrow, hopefully, with another few poses to help you with your back bends and your arm mobility. Namaste.